And your casters will be me, Hades, joined by PQMZ. Hello, P.
Hello, hello. I really like this from VG actually,
Mm-hmm.
because
10
opening
seconds
CM
remaining.
is, the hero's not necessarily first pick
5
worthy, but what
seconds
it does
remaining.
is it means they can react to what IG pick. And they've
Reserve
been the
time.
ones destroying this series so far. So IG, they would probably want to be able to counterpick VG or get some kind of inkling as to what their first two should be based
Mm-hmm.
on VG's first pick. But now they're completely blind, and they have to try and set the tempo themselves. And I really don't think Q has figured out what the hell to do. He's been consistent with banning the Omni, but I don't think his plans have been going well at all.
Radiant team
But
pick.
speaking of unsure to do, well, this time it seems like he has an idea of what he wants to do. I don't know, because he straight up picks up his hero and Bobaka's hero. This is obviously the Bobaka Monkey King. The Warlock comes out as well. And they do
10
know that VG
seconds
Gaming like
remaining.
to group up. I mean, VG Gaming, given in the past two games, they have been very
5
consistent in
seconds
banning out the
remaining.
Warlock. So maybe he does have an inkling of what's going on. They could be trying this. I like this better compared to
Reserve
the
time.
Magnus instant picks every time. And you talked about VG,
Agreed.
more room being open here. Whew, Crystal Maiden. So, I mean, Young's been very open regarding his offlane heroes. He's been very impactful as well, every single time.
Yeah, he's a monster player. I feel like I could say that about anyone in this series, but they're just the
Dire
ones
team
performing on the
back.
day.
Mm,
They woke up on the right side of the bed and they understood Dota slightly better today, and that's kind of what it comes down to at certain points, especially for. I'm not sure if these teams are actually on a LAN at the moment, but
10
for an online
seconds
tournament,
remaining.
it's very reliant on your mood
5
and your
seconds
understanding
remaining.
of the day. It sounds stupid to say, but just trust me.
no, I do. Especially
Reserve
as,
time.
like, okay, I studied a bit of sports psychology as well. This kind of applies to, your mainstream sports. This is something which,
Radiant team
it's like
back.
even the tiniest things like sleep patterns. These tiny details all
Dire
add up.
team
Like you said,
back.
this is just Dota. That's how the way it is, and esports in general as well. It's all these tiny details do matter. No matter what, you can't really just shrug something off. But okay, now we finished the first phase. The Fiji Gaming do pick up the Ember Spirit. Actually, I wanted to
10
point out an interesting
seconds
stat. I think
remaining.
someone from Twitch said that he checked in Dota Buff, Mr. Testus, or how do you pronounce his
5
name again?
seconds remaining.
Yeah, Mr. Testusa. He was saying that regarding the Tinker talent, that 7 out of 8 pro games where they went for the 4% spell amplification, they actually won
Radiant
compared
team
to going for the 225 HP.
Okay, the reasoning for that would be if you go spell amp, you're obviously far enough ahead that
Mm-hmm.
you feel like you don't need the health, so the talent's probably irrelevant
10
anyway.
seconds
Okay.
remaining.
That's my guess.
I mean,
I-
it's
5
fine.
seconds remaining.
That talent will not decide a game in 95 out of 100 games. So
Reserve time.
Oh, Wraith King banned, so they do take
Dire
out the
team
Fake
pick.
King, taking out the Shadow Fiend as well. Might see a Slaughter come in, or they could anticipate it, because then again, anytime a team's he picks up a Crystal Maiden, usually they like to follow it up with either an Earth Spirit or a Slaughter, and because Earth Spirit's banned, Slaughter's still left in the pool, so could be
10
that.
seconds remaining.
there's plenty of options, so it's like
5 seconds remaining.
I think the Ember could be a very
Reserve
big
time.
turning point this game, because if you remember what happened in the first game, IG got dumpstered in the
Radiant
laning
team
stage when they
pick.
picked his hero, and Monkey he's okay at ganking this hero, but I would be very surprised if they don't try and pick a mid lane matchup that favors them.
I like the next pick. You can mess around with the
10
Ember.
seconds
like-
remaining.
You turn in your Flame God if you're in Vendetta. You go in for Carapace. You stun the
5
Ember for a really
seconds
long time.
remaining.
It's great setup, and I guess that's why to a certain extent I feel like some teams when they pick the Ember,
Reserve
especially
time.
the Chinese teams, they don't really like to give him that much of an advantage unless they're really that confident. Usually, especially the way VG has been playing so far. Like, it's very different from IG, so maybe you'll see something a bit differently.
I definitely hope it was different than the first Ember game, because
Mhm.
that was just not successful. But yeah, I like the Nyx. It's been banned, I think, in the first two. S- so getting through to the third stage makes a bit of a surprise.
Could just disencourage the pick of an OD as well. Maybe Bat Rider, because I think looking at the hero picks, VG does play quite a bit of Bat Rider as well. IG, but then again, Bat is just a very stable pick. Yep. Actually, if you look at IG, they have 113 matches on Bat Rider with a 59.29% win rate. That could be one of the reasons. And if you look at VG Gaming, they've been playing Bat Rider up to 85 games. That's like a 58% win rate. So both about the same. It's a plausible reason to pick up the Nyx as a deny, just to make sure, just like intimidating factor more like.
I definitely go on board with it countering the Ember as opposed to a
Mhm.
potential Batrider pick. But the one problem with Nyx is the hero can be very, very hit or miss. I think more so than nearly any offlaner.
Okay.
It requires a good amount of farm,
10
a good amount of
seconds
levels,
remaining.
and sure, it's got a lot of annoying HP regen in the
5
lane, and it can be
seconds
kind of
remaining.
annoying to zone out. But if you don't do something with the hero, you feel
Reserve time.
awkward. Whereas if you have like a Centaur or an LC, a Magnus, you're always doing something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nyx is a very like finesse pick, I think. So I hope they do really well with it, because I would like to see this game go to game 5. The series go to a game 5, even though I'm very sleep deprived right now.
All right. Well, you never know. Maybe IG might just get even at least one game, so we can prolong this even just a bit more. So you heard him. You heard him. You heard PQ chat, and send him some energy. He's been powering through, and of course, thank you. We really do appreciate you co-casting the series with me. And okay, Night Stalker pick of the Ember. VG didn't run the Night Stalker in the previous game. That was taken by IG. Like, that was used to secure the map control. Didn't really work out. I think they were banking on the Night Stalker Magnus initiation fact. But in this case with VG Gaming, this is really scary. Like Nyx, if you're roaming around, besides that, you're going to be worried about the sentries as well. This is really, really tough to play a Nyx game.
Same thing for Monkey King as well. You
Right.
can't play your
Radiant
tree dance
team
game
pick.
against Night Stalker once he gets his axe.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a really smart pick, and it kind of fills that Starladder or Spirit role you were talking about earlier. If they want to run it as a 4, it's still open. It's also a really, really good
10
hero at
seconds
ganking around the
remaining.
4 or 5 minute mark for Ember, so they can actually get something out of that lane.
5
Okay.
seconds remaining.
So I like the pick here.
Oh, Invoker coming out, but immediately they know what they want. They go for the
Dire team
Sven.
back.
Sven does have a bit of mana issues as well, which is why you see some during the Sven meta. They basically they'll go for the full to get a mango, so at least he can get a second stun if he needs to in the lane. But the Invoker pick, I always talk about this. I really enjoy a Vendetta kill into a
10
Sunstrike.
seconds
It's very
remaining.
classic. It's very easy to execute as well. But sometimes when
5 seconds
some teams just know how to play against it, know how to dodge these fights, to get out of these dodgy situations, and that just never happens.
Reserve time.
Yeah, it's level of game, I suppose. But I do really like the combo because one, as I was saying earlier, Nyx is a hit or miss hero.
Mm-hmm.
And having a global presence just means you're so much more free to make things happen. If you find a CM in the jungle who has Tranquils and a
Radiant
raindrop
team
and
back.
like 600, 700 health, you can't always solo kill that hero at like 10 minutes into the game. With an Invoker, easy pick, put some pressure on the map, get things rolling for your team. I'm not so sure it's the best hero for them,
10
but
seconds remaining.
we shall see if they're able to pull it off. I don't think I've ever
5
seen OP
seconds
play Invoker,
remaining.
so it should be a treat if he knows what he's doing and can live up to certain
Reserve
players.
time.
Textbook strat. And okay, taking out the Spectre makes sense. You don't want to.
Radiant
You really don't want to
team
deal with that global presence. If anything, with the Night Stalker, yeah, Spectre can really, just put a hole in that strat. So, VG, we'll see what they decide to finish this off with. IG also lacking a safe lane carry. Who's still left in the
10
pool? We have
seconds
Jug,
remaining.
Slark, Anti-Mage? No, Anti-Mage would be horrible here against Sven,
seconds.
right?
Definitely not an AM or
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't say Slark game either, just based on the vision aspect.
Night Stalker, yeah, it's a bitch to play
Dire
against.
team pick.
Centaur pick. Alright, so
Jug is
it's such a safe option.
It's kind of like the safe standard pick. That
Uh-huh.
If you're putting bets on, you'd probably say the hero, but it's not what I think
10
they'll go
seconds
for.
remaining.
I think they need something a bit more out there. Because
It's
Jug
just-
just struggles from the
seconds
same
remaining.
issues of like the previous games
Mhm.
where he can't man fight Sven.
Reserve
How about
time.
And
Morphling?
he's gonna
Morphling would be pretty okay if you go for like an E-Blade thing, and it is a burning trademark, but they go for the Venge. Wow.
I think the Morphling would take way too long. And this is like the opposite of that. Venge is a very early peak hero. And it kind of plays like a 2 position to the Invoker, which lets him scale into the game as for core.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the best, just based on the fact VG scale really well. And your tower push is, unless he gets the Forge Spirits up and you get a really strong early game, I'm not so sure you can close this out before VG get to do what they want to.
I think for IG to really run this Venge strat, it's so risky. You need to make sure you snowball off the laning phase, because otherwise
10
Venge does not
seconds
flash
remaining.
farm as quickly as a Sven. Like, one simple example of that is who clears the
5
jungle quicker.
seconds
We see
remaining.
VG, what they do after the Sven gets to like a level 6, he just clears the jungle, CM or Night Stalker can take the lane, or even the Centaur for a quick blink, and next thing you know, they're on the way. Like, the economic distribution it's very standard in that sense. But you look at IG, this one I would have to say they're pressed for time in what they need to achieve. They have to hit this very early timing windows.
Yeah, and the best way to compare that, I suppose, is, as you said, Sven will go into the jungle when he feels comfortable, gets his cleaving treads up and stuff. Venge, instead of going to the jungle or something, she makes a smoke rotation to where the Sven was, kills the hero that's farming the lane and pushes a tower. That's the kind of stuff you need to be accomplishing with this hero. And Burning is one of the best Venge players. I think he understands the hero very well, how the timing works, and I think it was much better than backing off for a late game hero and trying to outscale VG. This gives them the chance to win on their own terms, which I think is always much better than hoping your opponents fuck up, especially at this level. And we've seen VG don't really fuck up.
Yeah.
At least in the last 2 games, they've been very in control and very stable.
Okay. And before we get a bit more into the game, now to introduce Burning, playing on the Vengeful Spirit for Invictus Gaming, OP on the Invoker. We'll see if he will be an OP Invoker. Boboka, the Chinese Jerax on his trademark Monkey King. He's had a bit of a rough run so far. We'll see whether this game he can turn it around. XXS playing on the offlane Nyx Assassin. Q on the Warlock. For the Radiant side, we have VG playing End on the Sven. Yang
30
on
seconds
the
to
Centaur
battle.
Warrunner. Chuan on the Crystal Maiden, the Chuan Maiden. HYM on the Night Stalker. Last but not least, you have Ori playing on the Ember Spirit. So back into this, is there any draft you would favor in particular?
I think this one's a bit closer than the previous game, but I'd still favor VG, just based on ease of execution, and they can play at multiple stages of the game, whereas IG kind of needs to hit a pace and keep it throughout the game
Oh,
to feel
Boboka, does he steal the
successful.
bounty rune here? Oh no, he does not. Ori gets it. But he's gonna get a couple of pokes in with that staff, poking him. Ori's like, no, go away. I don't want this. And alright.
That's better than stealing a rune almost when you take half of his health.
Indeed, and that's gonna be the first tangle already used up, and now that it's on cooldown, it's gonna be rough. And not to mention OP here, he has a much better block. You can see the creeps on his high ground. This is gonna be tough for Ori.
Yeah, this is lane winning stuff. Because one of the best things you can do is get a block on your high ground and then have your melee hero trade hits. But the Night Stalker's here to equalize the disadvantage, which does free up their bottom lane a lot.
Ooh.
Like the Warlock's starting down here to try and zone out the weaker supports from VG. If the Night Stalker doesn't start down here, this is a very weak dual lane.
And because he can keep spamming that nuke, he's gonna just burn out ends, regeneration items very, very quickly. And if anything, he could use it in the Nyx Assassin, which helps him out a lot with sustaining in the lane. You can see Centaur, he's just doing his thing. I realize he actually just takes to the jungle. He's not gonna take the risk of just like
Yeah,
staying
but this
in.
is game losing actually.
Oh no, Yang! Not like this! He gets the stomp! Monkey has an Orb of Venom. Poke! First blood going to Boboka. No surprise there. Monkey King thing. So he's just gonna keep punishing the Centaur for jungling.
I have a feeling Centaur's going to go to a lane. Okay, Night Stalker's doing it instead. But he goes jungle based on the assumption he can't lane against what IG would have put in their lane. But because they dedicated the supports elsewhere and he like pre-bought the Iron Talon, they're getting a ginormous win out of this laning stage. if they can continue putting this kind of pressure up, where the Nyx is basically free farming bottom, they're getting the pulls off, and it can really mess with how the Sven wants to play the lane. While Burning just free farms the safe lane, maybe he gives some experience to one of the VG heroes, but whatever. So far this is looking way more convincing for IG than either of the previous 2 games. And I think they really need this kind of start.
Well, we'll see. I'm also hoping that IG, they do at least pull one back. And Babaka, on looking to what he's gonna do next. Does he look for a bounty rune? Nope, he knows it's not there. And
He just wants to find the centaur, I think.
or he's heading actually back to the mid again, I think. Maybe to mess around with Ori a bit. Ori is very far forward.
Snipe the chicken.
Oh, if he can. Can he? I think he knows.
I think he mistimed it, but yeah,
He's going for it! He's gonna get the courier snipe! Babaka!
Radiant's
Oh!
You'd think people would be a bit
learned.
more respectful of this when he's off the map. This is also the most dumb thing, that you can just de-aggro creeps for free. I don't know. And the hero would be fine if it wasn't for that spell, I think.
Well,
It's not even a spell, it's just a passive.
it's just too much, man. But you have to love Monkey King things. There's a, but at least you know more teams, they know how to play against it now. But that courier snipe is going to be huge, especially for the Invoker. And once again, Babaka being sneaky behind enemy lines. Or he's not going to be happy. That was his salve. And now without the regen, he may be just forced to go back just to heal up or use the shrine.
No, he's already had the bottom shrine used, so
Oh, darn.
he has the offlane shrine if needs be though, as no one was really laning there. But this is about as good a start for IG as they could ask for. All their cores are doing really well in CS. Nyx having equal to like a mid lane farm is really important in this game. As I was saying at the start, he needs levels, he needs farm for the hero to like really excel. And if you can get that, it ups the timing of the hero and it makes the global presence from Invoker a lot scarier, and it limits VG's ability to like spread out on the map.
Babaka might be dying here to HYM. Yes, he will. It just turned nighttime. Well, he does get the bounty win as a bit of a consolation prize, but still, dying like that, not ideal. HYM now rotating
Another
to
pressure
mid.
comes mid.
Oh, he knows that OP has no mana. This could be pretty big, but he has the range up. He has some one charges. Oh, Q coming in with the Shadow Word here. HYM. Does he have mana for the void? No, he does not. Dies under the tower. And Bernie coming in as well. Looks like they want to go for Ori. Do they have enough damage though? The Frostbite's going to be there looking for the slow. It looks like he's going to get Ori no matter what. But the Staring Chase, beautiful play coming up. But it's okay. Q gets the right click with that haste rune. And that's going to be Invictus Gaming 3-1. Really nice start. And they can go back to the shrine.
That haste rune was clutch. The Invoker might not have died, but it definitely helped get the turn kills. And they were really quick on that rotation as well. It was a pretty obvious rotation from HYM, so IG had it telegraphed pretty smartly. And just more in their favor.
I'm liking this alternative game plan already as it is, and I think this is what they need to do, but still a bit too early to tell. We look at Invoker. That was actually really close as well. Very lucky that he had no mana. If they had one more Void on the Night Stalker, that would have been a very different scenario. And now Yang with HYM, they will dwell in against this Venge. Maybe might even keep the supports top.
Yeah, this is it's a pretty nice rotation from them, but the monkey's already here scouting this out. He understands what's happening, and Burning would have been a pretty easy kill for them with these 3 heroes. But I think they now understand.
Oh, Sunstrike, and with the slow and the Boundless Strike, Yang dodges the stun. And Yang will go down to Babaka. Really nice execution here from IG. And this is just not really respecting the Sunstrike plays coming out, because it's this kind of synergy which I really like to see.
I don't think they knew the monkey was there, to be perfectly honest. So.
Okay.
Because he didn't show on the lane, he wasn't under any vision coming there.
Could have been
I don't
mid as
think
well.
they saw him in the trees. But Burning going for like this phase boots build, he hits like a truck when wave is on you. So I haven't seen this for a really long time. You normally see just like treads as a default and going a fairly tanky build, but the name of their game is aggression, and it's paying off.
And Nyx just
VG
hit
don't
very
really
big
have a way of
item.
dealing with it.
And alright, XXS, now level 6. Maybe he can try for one of those Vendetta plays into a stun. He has the Arcane Boots. Sven could be first on on the list.
I think people rotate to him as opposed to vice versa though.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's free farming in this lane. He has the most CS in the game. He has no reason to leave this lane. He can just farm for a Midas and, you know, continue on his own game. And if people come to him, his teammates can come.
Young,
Vice
smoke
versa.
broken. They already committed a 3-man smoke, but it's broken by Boboka. Wow, okay. Monkey King
VG
things.
getting desperate.
And they're just backing out. Tron still smoked up, so that's just awkward. You know, you see 4 heroes just backing off.
They're under some pressure to do something, I suppose. They feel like the game's not going well. They don't really have a play right now. And then when they try and make one, IG have it red. It's amazing how, as much as we praised VG for their play before,
Mm-hmm.
this game, they don't feel in control at all. And that's 99% because of the draft. And you just see like these little cracks of that smoke wouldn't have happened last game, in effect. Maybe I'm giving them a bit too much credit. You could argue that. But it just kind of speaks to the team that controls the game. It looks a lot easier for them. Because it's not like IG have just suddenly learned to play against them or massively changed how they play. They changed their strategy, but their execution was not bad in the previous games. They just kind of got like outdrafted. And now it's almost going on the other foot.
Burning in the middle lane. Going for the swappy media into HYM. Doesn't get the silence off in the nick of time, but oh, beautiful media coming in right now. Does connect into HYM with the double remnants in, actually. Ooh. Down goes Burning. And HYM will be happy to pick up the kill for that one. Toasting Burning off.
Step 1 into closing the gap.
That could have been
Kill.
worse though. Boboka had like a 3-man boundless strike. That could have been way worse, but OP decided to, you know, take the kill onto HYM. Didn't really get the kill, so that was really messed up. I felt he could have gone for maybe the Crystal Maiden, the 2 squisher targets on the right, but his team were too far away, and yeah, it's just the nearest target things.
So, small problem for them though. They're still pretty far ahead. If they want to push this tower with well, Warlock Golem's not available yet. That's probably going to come out at the 10-minute mark when Tomb's available, and then IG really hit their stride, because it just gives them this ginormous teamfight deterrent. And Burning's already at a point where, with enough people around him, he can kind of push towers. And I think VG's only way of responding to that is pushing in the other lanes. Which Invoker's going to stop you pushing in the mid lane unless you're ganking him and killing him. And, you know, if you trade tier 1 for tier 1, I think it's still fine for IG. But they're not even getting that, because they're too scared.
Alright, so 42 at 10 minutes in. He exercises. He's looking for a Vendetta kill, but I would have thought he stayed bottom to complete the Midas at least. But that's, you know, that seems kind of greedy. He needs to make something happen. He could find the Ember Spirit though.
Well, like, when they went for the place top and the fight mid lane, his team wanted him to move and stuff. They didn't want to stagnate the game too much.
How do you feel about Yang going for Vanguard, by the way? He's actually going for a Vanguard over a Blink.
I suppose it's kind
Oh,
of
bottom
common.
lane, HOM, no, the Shadow Word should be enough to kill him off. Nicely done from Q.
It's kind of the same thing as Axe doing it, right? When most of the damage from IG is physical through the Warlock with Alacrity and the Venge, you want to be tankier. There's not really that much magic damage that you have to worry about, so you'd normally see Hood on center. This is the alternative. It's not quite as efficient for the hero itself, but it just plays better against what IG have. And I really don't know if they could fight if he had a blink right now without like some bullshit levels initiation where he gets like multiple heroes in a storm. And by multiple I mean 3 or 4, not just 2.
Wow, it has to be that many, eh? Okay.
IG just like, they're much stronger with their heroes at the moment. Especially with the Warlock Golem.
Oh, meanwhile, OP top lane, they do find Yang, Vendetta Sun, you know, Vendetta and Impale Sunstrike. Can't get too far away from those creep waves, you're not really safe. And that'll be his Midas
The fact they can do
completed.
that's really scary. Because as I just said, they can't really fight them either. and they can't split the map because Nyx is killing them. Or at least they can't split the map that far up. They need to be a lot more defensive and a bit more grouped, which it naturally lowers your efficiency, which means IG can farm more of the map and not choke you out as such this early, but just grow their lead.
I mean, just as we're talking about being defensive, Sven does have the BKB up on quick buy after the Mask of Madness. And Burning with these illusions, he actually went for a Hood of Defiance first. Like, I think he knows that he doesn't want to die first to like the Ember Spirit or the Void. This is going to help him up. It's great regen as well. So they will go ahead to try and push this tier 1. Yeah, they're actually taking objectives really quickly. Both side lanes already lost, no tier 1 standing. If they lose another tower, this could be really bad for them. Like, Ember Spirit has not had a good time.
I mean, he's doing just about as well as Sven, but if you can't fight with this hero, then you're just a creep hitter.
Oh, they find the Searing Chains onto the Monkey King with the Boundless Strike. It's okay, Burning goes down anyways. And now the Tornado finding 3 heroes, looking for a stun onto 1 perhaps. Now the Chaotic Offering landing to 3, but doesn't really get damage off, and Tron will go down. So Burning, he's looking for a bit more. He has a swap. Doesn't want to use it. He's going straight for the tier 1 instead. So Objective Gaming, good discipline coming out from Invictus Gaming. Much better start for them this time.
And they heavily punish VG. The attempt to pick the Monkey King before IG could react was ambitious at best, and now it costs them a tier 1 and probably Roche, or a fight at Roche that they could potentially lose. The only thing they really have going for them is the fact it's nighttime, I suppose.
Looks like they want to go in. Oh, if he can steal the Aegis, that'd be really big. But no, Wukong's command's gonna come out with the Boundless Strike, catching onto 2. And it actually looks like OP does snatch the Aegis. Okay, a bit of a bright side. They do get the Roshan kill for the Radiant side, but they lose 3 heroes. I don't think that was worth it at all, P.
And definitely not. If they could have just gotten the kill or snatched the Aegis with Slight, it would have been amazing, but when you commit the heroes and then die for it, it's just... everything's playing into IG at the moment. The tempo of the game is exactly how they want it to be set.
Alright, so you have a Dragonlance almost run out IG. Alright, I think I'm getting a tough time as well with the Chinese servers. I'm just gonna do a quick reconnect.
Oh, fingers crossed it's been fine since I did like my 6 restarts in game 1. And if we haven't mentioned, the Warlock has a Midas, so he's pretty happy. Invoker's about 1,000 from his Ags. Everything's just bueno for them. And the only thing that is going to really stop them doing this is if they massively overextend into VG, which with an Aegis I don't think is possible. Especially when they get kills like this, where they set up with a Nyx. 3 heroes converge on an Ember Spirit who's pushing a tier 1 tower. And he was their most farmed hero, and he went for like fairly greedy build overall, just like rushing BOTs, doesn't go Veil, doesn't go Blink to split the map or initiate better. I think they know they can't fight right now, so BOTs make sense in that regard. I don't know, it's all just looking a bit grim for them. They really just need to stall the game out to get a certain amount of items. Like BKB on Sven's going to be huge, but I don't know if it's enough as a single item. I think he needs 2. Because waddling in with a BKB is pretty sad life. You kind of need a blink.
Tron maybe to find Burning. Yep, they know he was there. And Remnant immediately. Oh, with the CM ultimate, looks like Burning will be dying here. Could decide to turn around for Tron. The swap out, perfect swap. And with XXS with the Carapace, looks like they will find 2. Big stuff, and they turn around very nicely. This is IG. Starting dominance with the magic missile. They've broken the flame guard. Bobacar comes in with 1 big strike to the ass. And that's Ori going down.
And now they're just in a very convenient position where they can push a tower as well. And the Nyx is also setting up top to, at the very least, cancel TPs.
Middle tower is under attack.
Right, so N using their God Strength with the Mask of Madness. They pop the Fortification. The tier 2 is already going down with the Alacrity. That's a high right click damage, 300 a pop. And Top lane into the Sunstrike. No, doesn't really get it to connect. But N stuck inside. Chain stun. He won't try for the optimistic TP out. He
What a
gets
TP.
out. What a clutch. And I guess one of the good things about that was the Mask of Madness had wore off. If it was activated, I think he actually would have died there.
Well, he lives because the Night Stalker silences Revenge, so there's no TP
Mhm.
cancel. And that's pretty favorable for them because the tier 2 in mid lane survives because they went for the kills, which is completely understandable. When you're ahead, you don't want to trade. I don't think the tier 2 is going to stay up that long, but that small sequence of events didn't go badly for them, which
Okay.
is the best thing in the past 17 minutes, I suppose.
Radiant's middle
Nothing's really
tower
gone
is under
VG's way
attack.
so far. And for it to
Radiant's
start
middle
going their
tower
way is still
has
going to take a while.
And now they lose that tier 3. So tier 2. And IG looking very, very farmed. We questioned the Invoker pick because we haven't seen that many Invoker picks from them. But actually, to take that back, IG has actually played 146 games on Invoker. They actually have a 60% win rate on that. So that's pretty okay.
I mean, I'm not going to bullshit anyone. I don't watch the most amount of Chinese games, and I haven't ever seen him play the hero. I didn't question the pick as much, but just brought it up. No hate, please.
Alright, so 14-3. Let's take a quick look at talents overall. Invoker, well, he actually skipped the talents.
This is super common. You normally get them at 14, 15 if you're getting them at all.
Okay. So Venge did go for the extra attack speed. If he had gone for the magic resistance, I would say he'd be quite beastly tanky. They're trying for the Sunstrike at the end, but the Stampede away. And they know. There's probably vision around there. Burning's coming in. They even go for the Primal
Where's
Spring
his
with the
swap
Boundless
range?
Strike to stop him there. They have a swap if they need to. Should be able to swap him out. Jukes. Ooh, beautiful double stun. And now the swap, too bad. And nowhere to run, nowhere to go but the grave. It looks like HYM is still there. They have a stun in 5 seconds. Looking for that Primal Spring XXS with the double kill. This is much better play from IG. And they are definitely showing dominance.
Yeah, VGs just have no response. Like, that chase is going on for a good 10 seconds and no one in their team wants to be part of it at all. They're probably just saying, in whatever the Chinese translation of this is, just make space, I'm going to try and use it. I ain't TPing, I'm not helping you, screw that shit, I'm not dying for you. The problem is though, if VG do lose heroes, they just have the issue of their towers falling afterwards, because IG push quite nicely. They're a lot more effective at this than I thought they'd be, but I haven't seen Venge in a while, so I kind of forgot how strong the hero is. It's just allowing your team to push.
And the tier 3 tower already down to 50% HP. Burning as well, you know, with the swap, he can always just swap maybe a support in if he has to. And you always have OP to
Nyx
just
has
disengage.
Axe.
Oh, that's a big item on XXS actually. That's gonna make things extremely hard in initiating into.
Yeah, now it's basically just Burning sits in the front, the Invoker can join him if he wishes, and if they ever want to engage, they have plenty of ways to get out, and they have sustain
Oh,
through
nice
the wall.
tornado coming up into the media. The Carapace as well, it's gonna be landing into the... Ooh, nice big chaotic offering with the Fatal Bonds landing to every single hero into the Wukong's command. Bobaca's gonna get cut up by End and Chuan. He's now looking for the Sunstrike. Oh, toasting Yang. OP Volker. And that's going to be the tier 3 tower going down. IG says we are not done. We're going to fight every way to back into this final. So, that'll be the mini barracks going down. Nice and quick. 20 minutes in. This is really fast.
Venge is really strong, and also Invoker Alacrity is pretty strong.
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
If anything, they can go for shrines. They can also wait for the next Roshan, which... Wait, did they even take Roshan? I don't see the timer for some reason. So it could be a bug.
It's because you reconnected.
Uh-huh.
The timer isn't showing yet, but yeah, they did kill Roche before. If you remember when they got the kill on the Ember Slight.
That was really clutch though in that sense, because at least they get the gold despite dying 3 heroes. I don't think it's easy to even like get a sleight of fist Roshan kill with, you know, just boots of travel. He didn't have
It's
any
easier
damage.
to get the Aegis snatch than it is to get the kill.
It is. But they're smoked up.
This is a pretty YOLO smoke. I think
Yeah.
it's we might as well try, but just look how IG are reading the map. This is years of experience, right? They just understand what's happening. They read the map. with honestly like not that much to go off. They have one ward. I don't think they smoked under the ward. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just game sense.
No, they smoked all the way
And-
from the base, so there was no way they could have known. That was just game sense.
Yeah, now there's like a plethora of items coming out where the Monkey King has his Basher, which is one of the most annoying things he could have picked up. Venge finishes the Hurricane Pike. There's a Solar Crest on the Warlock now. And they saw how easy that bottom lane was, so they're just like, yeah, let's go again. I don't think VG can stop us, and I'm pretty sure they're right, unless VG gets some really good smoke wraparound, where they can find probably Warlock before the fight starts. But that's just so hard when you're initiating into a Nyx. He has maxed Carapace,
Radiant's middle tower
and
is
that
under attack.
that's the 2.5 second stun.
And they're going for us. Oh,
To
this
everyone.
flank play. Hold on. The flank play from VG Gaming. This could be really
Um,
big.
he
They used the wave
he
of terror.
knows.
Wow, that's really smart from Burning. And he went to check.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
I don't think he saw the raindrop proc. I don't think that's how it works, but they know a wraparound's coming if you look at how they're positioned.
Wow, this could be really big. If they can jump OP first, and now they pop the Stampede. OP getting silenced up with the beautiful Stormhammer, but into the big freezing field. Doesn't kill OP, but over in the backline, Ori and Young getting themselves a kill each, and looks like they will find Burning to boot. VG Gaming, what a flank maneuver. And OP is trying to kill the Crystal Minion. XXS will take the kill, but now the Stomp, they don't have detection. Do they have
Dust
Dust?
cooldown.
No, they don't. The XXS, he's just gonna TP out in that borrowed form.
I never knew you could TP and borrow. I guess it makes sense as you can use every other item, but
Alright, looks like we learned something new.
pretty good hold from them though. I'm really surprised, like,
Dire's
with
middle
how they were
tower
set up.
is
The
under
Nyx was
attack.
like on this TI shield thingy emblem bullshit, and the team like all ran this way to get away from him, and then his positioning's completely screwed. I almost think they'd have been safer just like running down. I think they kind of knew the wraparound was coming, but they obviously didn't have like a set plan of how they're going to deal with it. And that small chaotic element just give VG enough of a leverage, because positioning generally takes over small gold leads. I mean, how big is the gold lead? Just for argument's sake. Yeah, okay, 15k is not a small gold lead. I thought it was more like 8 to 10. My bad. But still, positioning's king.
Okay, Roshan going down very, very quickly. No surprise there. You have the Solar Crest, the Wave of Terror, Alacrity, Forge Spirits, whatnot, and I mean, they actually won that fight. That was a good hold, and N didn't even have like a, Blink Dagger. He didn't have any crit. All he had was a BKB Mask of Madness with the Stampede. They just ran in, and now he's gonna be hoping. He's gonna be like telling his team, like, give me gold. I need my Blink Dagger, and that's gonna make our fights much easier to execute. And yep. Oh no, he's just gonna TP back right now, and this is bad. He was 200 gold away. That was really close. I think maybe like after the creep wave, he could have afforded that.
It's just making sure that they're there when IG pushes, so the last thing you want to do is let them set up while they're sieging your base and then have to TP in and your tower's already gone. So yes, it kind of sucks for him, but IG are now in a position where Aegis as well as BKB on Invoker, barring anything stupid, they can force us.
Oh, they're stomping right there, but the Tornado EMP coming out into the ice wall. Stumped, no mana. What is mana? I don't know.
Stampede.
Oh, beautiful double staring chains. But no, the characters, and of course with the chaotic offer, he's just gonna ram them now. The Deafening Blast will not be able to stop him. That's gonna be tier 3 tower going down, and that's gonna be Invictus
wrapper.
Gaming. This looks like a second lane Rax.
Middle barracks
Over the
is
side
under
lane, here comes N with the God Strength, cutting up the monkey. One more hit, he will get it. And now he needs to go straight for XXS. That BKB is wearing off soon. Night Stalker can only do so much, but the Crystal Maiden Ultimate Chuan doing 6 amount damage, and that's going to be Burning going down. Okay, normal ultimate, but Collins at the ice wall. OP with the AMP. He's gonna get tons of mana back, and that's gonna be 3 down. This should be GG right here. Ori doing whatever he can.
And maybe with the shrine, he's able to hold.
That lane of Rax is going down nonetheless.
Never
Radiant's
mind.
middle barracks has fallen.
Hey, it could be hopeful, right? Invoker still has Aegis, and with the Golem, the Forge Spirits and everything, it's 2 lanes. They can't get the third because of the tier 2 tower being up, but they can just go back to the shrines. They could be greedy and take both shrines if they really want, because who's going to catch the Invoker?
Right, so Monkey King, he's going straight for the tier 2 tower.
I mean, they might as well. they're at a position where they can end the game.
OP just needs to shrine up over at the bottom lane. He's back in with the BOTs, nice and easy. And if anything, somehow they need a miraculous team wipe coming out here from VG Gaming at least twice if they are to find a foothold back into this game. They still have the tier 1 standing mid and bottom lane.
Currently there's no Warlock. Unfortunately they have no vision of this, so they don't know for sure. But if they're keeping track, that the Golem's a minute away.
And for the
So
chains
this is
on
the
the side
best
of
time,
this,
if any.
Tornado's going to be off the mark.
Radiant's top tower is under
So they
attack.
decided to back off, wait for the next creep wave. They have plenty of time.
Yeah, and I think this is last smoke. If the shop actually works for me for a second. I think they've got like one more in stock. So they've used like 3 or 4 smokes to try these wraparound attempts, and
But they want to go again. HYM, they pop the nighttime. They know that the Invoker's there. I think he saw them. They need to go. But he has the Aegis. They don't want to jump it. They want to go straight for the next assassin, but the Carapace and the EMP is already out. Ori and N will kill off Barbacar very quickly. But now they're over the backline. They want to kill Bunny. Need to try and kill that carry. Nice freezing field. Oh, the media will not be able to kill off HYM, but down goes Warlock, I think. Yep. No, he's still alive. Okay, he will get chomped down by that axe. Man, nice double impale coming up from XXS. OP and friends going to do whatever they can. The Salafist to dodge, but now, ooh. Now the Aegis popped. Why does he have a Shadow Amulet? Okay, no, that wasn't him. That was Chuan. But now, looks like they will find Chuan. No mana on his part. Can he kill him off? I don't think so. But now, yep, the Blink Stun coming in. They want to start chopping up into OP. Nice impale. Landing on Yang though. And pops those charges. Looks like they will be able to kill off OP. No, just kidding. Now they pop the dust. They have enough. OP Tornado up into the air. He's going to be A-okay. Popping the Ice Wall will not be enough. And HYM actually getting himself another kill. That's going to be a 4-for-0 trade.
they're doing it, boys. I'm not sure how that fight went so well for them, but when they're actually able to get close and mainly stop burning from like right-clicking them, because he went for the super tanky build. If he's on the run, sure, it might take a while to kill him, but he's not actually causing you any issues if he's not standing and hitting you. And half the Nyx spells were like stacked on top of a tornado, I think, so it wasn't the best execution from IG. And also their golem wasn't, either it wasn't available, or by the time it was, he didn't deem it worthy to use. So with a small influx of gold from that fight, they can build towards like half of a tier 4 item each.
Sven's going to build to a Sancha Yasha actually, but half an hour in is... I don't think this is the right item. I would have thought he'd go for crit.
I suppose, like, if you look at how the last fight went, he had a really hard time tracking down a kill because of the force on the bench and the swap. And also Invoker's just kind of annoying, so this gives him a bit more chase speed. I agree that the crit makes a bit more sense in terms of bursting a hero down and hoping for a YOLO sort of scenario.
Oh, XXS finds the double impale. That's a big initiation into the chaotic offering, into the Sunstrike. Now the Stampede's gonna be there, but it won't help him. It looks like Centaur will be the sacrificial lamb as the rest of VG runs straight to the top and popping the BKB for that. And meanwhile, IG says, screw it, lanes are pushing in, let's just go straight for the top tier 3.
Yeah, luckily they all have TPs available to them, but perfect positioning to continue the siege.
Radiant's top tower is
Very easy.
No
siege.
buyback on the centaur means 5v4.
Not at all. EMP coming out, they pop the God Strength, they want to go into the fight, but not sure how. This is very risky to try and initiate here. Burning waiting at the back, OP is just the one standing in front. Now look at the Storm Hammer, it's going to land into Warlock, but he won't get the kill. And with the Mask of Madness on, the media, bang, down goes N. Now the Freezing Field doing whatever damage he can. The Searing Chains will not be able to do anything as the Nyx Assassin will cancel off the Crystal Maiden's ultimate. And now the GG with the count from Yang, it's Ori just dies. Like, it doesn't matter having the Flame Guard, the right clicks from OP is more than enough.
Radiant's top victory is falling.
Yeah, they hit really fucking hard this game. And credit to them, going 2-0 down in those kind of performances can occasionally break your mentality. But they shrugged it off, got a slightly better draft under their belt, and executed.
Oh well, so that was game 3. The score is 2-1. IG are slowly pulling back. PQ, we may be able to see that game 5 you were hoping for. But let's look at the scoreboard for now. Like, XXS, flawless game from him. I mean, that's because, granted, he was given a free lane, basically. And OP as well, those global Sunstrike kills, they really made it work out. I was afraid for IG.
I was slightly afraid for them in like the draft, but once I saw how the game was going, and I think most of it was down to IG's laning decision,
Mm-hmm.
and to some extent VG's misread of the lanes. Yang going to the jungle straight away just kind of forfeited the lane, let the Monkey King do what he wanted. Burning had a free lane, and then they kind of felt like the Night Stalker needed to be going top to soak up the experience, because leaving a lane completely empty is just like a no-go in most situations. And then there was no pressure on the Invoker mid, and we saw how that worked for the Ember. Another small thing I want to point out is Nyx doing more damage than Avenge is pretty impressive. Even more damage than a Monkey King as well, because that hero normally dishes out quite a bit.
Whew. I just realized, I just looked at it and it's like, oh my god, he's doing more than Avenge. Yeah, okay, I can see. But you know, it makes sense. He was like 5-0-14, flawless game from him, second most damage done for his team. He was really, really farmed as well. He's like only 2 gold per minute behind Burning. I mean, that granted he had a Midas, but still, they really played this really nicely. Who knows? Maybe game 4 they might be able to take it from VG Gaming as well. But meanwhile, whoops, sorry, you were saying?